Let's all give a round of applause for our graduates. We would like to welcome you all to the Jackson College graduation at the G. Robert Cotton Correctional Facility. We ask you to remain standing as Dr. Richard Hensey comes forward to sing the national anthem.
Gentlemen, will you remove your caps? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Dr. Hensey. You may be seated. It is my pleasure to bring to you the president of our college at Jackson College, President Dr. Daniel Phelan, for your welcome.
Thank you, Bobby. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so grateful to have you here, especially for the parents and family and friends. Thank you for being here to support these amazing graduates. You know, we're here today for a very important reason. It's to recognize the achievement of these individuals who've put themselves out there to gather among themselves the knowledge, skills, and ability to be successful once they leave this institution. I will tell you plain and simply, there's only one reason that we're here today, and that's because of the person I'm going to introduce to you next. This is a woman who herself has worked in prisons, who has led educational institutions, who has been a powerful force in this country for the importance of advancing education for every citizen, including those inside the walls. Having been a warden herself, she knew the complexities that it would take in order to be able to offer an educational program in facilities like this. More than anything else, I have seen a force of nature in Director Washington, the head of the Michigan Department of Corrections, who has made sure not only do you get a quality education at Jackson College and other higher education institutions, but that you leave this facility with the knowledge, skills, and ability and no debt when you leave this institution. So you have the highest chance of success leaving this institution. I'm grateful for her leadership in the state and for her work in Michigan Department of Corrections. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium your Director of the Michigan Corrections, Heidi Washington.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is great to be here, and thank you so much for that warm and lovely introduction. Today is a day that I have looked forward to for a while, but certainly not as much as you have, and so we've had to wait a little bit. to get here, but the important thing is we're here and we are together, and we are together with your family and your friends and those who have supported you throughout this journey. And so I want to say welcome and hello to you, family and friends and supporters. And your presence here is so meaningful and so important to the graduates and to us. You know, I know that oftentimes it's difficult to understand and know what goes on while your loved one is away and is incarcerated. And I'm really grateful that we have the opportunity with our partners like Jackson College to provide meaningful and productive educational instruction. And so because of a lot of people working together, we are all here today. And so I want to thank everybody for being here and for what you have done to get here to this day. I know it hasn't been easy. And the great thing is that after today, you can call yourself a college graduate. And you should be very proud of that. You've had the motivation and drive to no longer be defined by the worst action in your life. You've made a commitment to better your life, to better yourselves, and to better your community when you go home. And for some of you, you may be the first person in your family to earn a college degree. But the hope is that now, because of the example that you are setting, that you won't be the last, right? And so what we know is that when you provide somebody an education and an opportunity, that we have the opportunity to break the cycle of incarceration. And that's what we want to do. We want to be sure that when you leave here, that you don't return. And we want to give you the tools that you need to be able to do that. And you know, the thing is, we can give you those tools, but you have to be the one to apply the work and the effort, and you have done that, and you are sitting here today because of your effort. And so I want to congratulate you again, because you're very deserving of the honor that is being bestowed upon you today. Like I said, we know the positive effects of education, and that's why I have continually advocated and will continue to advocate nationally for the advancement and continued introduction of more Pell Grants for students like yourselves across this department, but also across this country. And we now have 6 colleges and university partners that are developing programs, and soon we will have hundreds of students within the Michigan Department of Corrections who have the opportunity that you have already been given. So again, I want to thank you. I want to ask you to take a deep breath and enjoy today. Enjoy this moment. This is your moment. I'm so grateful to have your families here. It's so important because, you know, when we think about milestones we've had in our life, graduations that we ourselves have been a part of, whether it was for us or for our children, what made it so meaningful was to look over here and see the look of pride on the face of your family and friends. And so I want you to remember that, and I want you to really take it in and enjoy it, because you earned it, and today is for you. So congratulations, and don't stop with your education. This is just the first step, and there are going to be more opportunities, both here and when you leave. And I know that Jackson College is welcoming you with open arms to continue to pursue your educational endeavors on the outside. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Director Washington, and thank you to your amazing staff as well, Kyle Kaminsky, Heather Gay, the entire team, which has worked in partnership with us to be able to provide this program and this education program for so many students. I also want to thank the local talent, all the corrections officers who are in the back, led by Warden Nagy. Thank you so much, sir, for allowing us to be on campus here and provide this education program, and being able to intercept a lot of the daily routine of your campus. We appreciate you working with us. I also want to acknowledge some people to my left, the people that I work for. members of the Board of Trustees who are committed to the social justice work of Jackson College. And with us today, Sheila Patterson, Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Donna Lake, Trustee, our newest trustee, Simpson, and lastly, Matt Hines. I thank them for their leadership and guidance in the work that we do in Jackson College and throughout the region. You know, as a young man growing up in the Tallgrass Prairie region of Iowa, I remember a seminal moment in my life. My grandmother was the person who really most influenced me with regard to my faith. And one time I was struggling with her about, you know, how to pray and how you go about praying. And she said, you know, if you're having difficulty, just take the Bible and let it kind of fold open. Let it just kind of open to itself. And whatever your eyes fall upon, that's what you should read. And just think about that. I had forgotten about that until about 2 weeks ago, when I was at a meeting on our campus, and I walked through the back of the building where we keep a lot of the materials for our program here at the prison. And I looked upon this book about poetry, and I laughed for a moment. This is the book that you use as part of this education program. And I laughed for a moment because I'm thinking I was never good at poetry. I really didn't understand it. I struggled through high school all the way, and for the grace of God and a lot of good people, I was able to graduate. But poetry just kind of, I don't know, it just didn't connect with me. And for a brief moment, I took the book and I just let it fall open. Let me tell you what I found when it fell open, and I just gazed upon the first words that helped me to understand poetry. Behind all the elements that make up a poem, and even behind its cultural contexts and critical reception, lies its theme, its idea, and the point around which the entire poem resolves. And the theme is ultimately what we respond to or fail to respond to. All the other elements, in fact, are typically there to contribute to the theme, whether or not that theme is explicitly stated. It made a lot of sense to me. I was thinking I was starting to get poetry after all these years. And so once again, I thumbed my pages in front of me in this book, and I happened upon a poem, and I started to read. This one was by Robert Frost. It's called Neither Out Far Nor In Deep. The people along the sand, and all turn and look away. They turn their back on the land, they look at the sea all day. As long as it takes to pass, a ship sails raising its hull, the wetter ground like glass, reflecting a standing gull. The land may vary more, but whatever the truth may be, the water comes ashore, and the people look at the sea. They cannot look out far, they cannot look deep. But what was ever that bar, to any watch they keep. I reflected on that poem for a moment, and I thought about the opportunity that I was going to have to come and speak to you today. All of you recognize that there was a reason that you came to this facility. And you have been here taking responsibility. You have been here taking responsibility for that decision. And when you leave here, you will not only graduates from an educational institution, but you will also have paid your debt to society. But still, outside of these walls, there will be people who only look at the sea. They have their back to the land, back to so much that is around them. They only see the sea. They only see what you were when, not who you are now. As I think about Frost's poem, I think about letting people see who you really are, see the whole person, the human being in front of them, redeemed through education, through time, and experience and understanding in this facility. You leave this institution washed by the sea, a new person, starting a new life, full of new hope and new possibility and new promise. All that I ask of you is that you don't turn your back to the land and see only the sea, to see what you were, but you see who you are now, an educated, thoughtful man, ready to re-engage in society and be a contributing member of our broader population. A community of citizens who need you. We need you in the workplace. We need you in our communities. We need you bringing your best to our community. And even though some individuals may only look to the sea and have their back to everything else, let them see through your kindness. Let them see through your actions, through your commitment, through your generosity of spirit, that they're missing so much of the world if they would only turn around. Let them see who you are going forward. Gentlemen, I congratulate you on your achievement. And whether you complete your studies here or you have studies to complete, I encourage you to matriculate to Jackson College and finish your education with you. We will continue to stand in partnership as many times as you need us. Again, thank you, Director Washington, for the opportunity. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Truly appreciate President Phelan's comments. The only time we should look to the past is when? To motivate us to keep going forward, right? When we all look back, when I say we all, because whether we're over here on this side of the room or this side of the room or in the front, every one of us have made mistakes, and we made decisions that we wish we could get back. I often tell my children I'm waiting for one of them to invent a time machine, because then they'll be the richest person in the world, because every person in this world would line up to go back in time and to correct a wrong or right a wrong or fix a mistake. But we all know there's no going back, only to look back to find the motivation to continue to go forward. And as we go forward, we can become our greatest selves. Now at this time, we'd like to bring up the warden of this facility, Mr. Noah Nagy.
Thank you, Bobby. First of all, I'd like to thank Jackson College and all that you do for our guys here at the facility. All of our staff from the department, we got a bunch of folks back here as well. And I hope you guys look today at this room and see how crowded it is, not only with our staff, not only from Jackson College, but your loved ones are here today, and realize the support that you still have and that you have moving forward, and understand your accomplishments and what you accomplish means something, okay? And I always tell this to our staff when they hire on. Be successful, there's 5 different things you really need to do. It's simple as that. Show up, right? So to get your education, you have to show up to class. You have to get online or on the TV and watch the class during these last 2 years, but you have to be physically present to be able to learn what's being taught to you. Work ethic. We know how hard getting a college degree is. Are you willing to put in the work? Every one of you have proven, especially during these last 2 years, how difficult it is, and you're still willing to put in the work to accomplish attaining a college degree. Attitude. It was hard. You got frustrated. There was times you wanted to quit, but you did not, right? So now you've proven to yourself you have the ability to be present, work hard, and take the right approach to it. And then do your best. If you're going to take a college class and subsequently get a degree, why not do your best? Are you going to be satisfied with a C, or are you rather work for an A? No matter what, you have to do your best at everything you're doing, including your classes. Anything you do in life. If you're going to do it, why not do your best? And now you guys are mentors, right? You've set the example on how to achieve what you're going after. When I was a parole agent, I used to always tell my guys on parole, set small goals at a time, achieve one goal at a time, achieve one goal at a time, keep moving forward. Well, you guys have shown that you have the ability to do that. You can just build off this, but not only build off it for yourselves, but set the example for the other guys at the facility. I personally want to congratulate you. I know how difficult this has been for all of you during this last couple years, and I know how difficult it is to earn a college degree. I think I still hold the record for academic probation at Grand Valley, so you guys did a great job. To the families, I can't thank you enough for showing up, taking the time out of your day to show your support for everybody here. I can't express to you how important it is for you to be present and showing them that you're there for them, you care for them, and you're going to celebrate this accomplishment with them. So again, congratulations and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden Nagy. At this time, we had planned for one of our former graduates to come. Unfortunately, he was able to make it to the morning ceremony, but not the afternoon. But that's okay, because we've got some great students that are out in front of us. They're going to make up and fill in that gap. So at this time, we're going to bring up our navigator for this facility, Ms. Nadia Elanani, and she will introduce both of our student speakers, one, and then come up and introduce the other.
Good afternoon. First, I wanted to say congratulations to all of you, and then I also wanted to thank the families that could make it and be here. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. Our first speaker is Nathaniel Latham.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. I would like to begin by thanking the Jackson College staff, as well as the MDOC administration, for affording us this great opportunity. Even throughout the pandemic, while the rest of the world is shutting down, you all kept things moving forward, so thank you. I was speaking with a friend of mine the other day. She manages an apartment complex and says that company policy is to automatically deny all applications from felons. She says that it's this way at nearly all reputable establishments, and that got me thinking. It is easy to believe that inmates are arrogant, egotistical, and always looking to profit at the expense of others. The cynicism that makes that a universal truism is widespread and even fashionable. And honestly, before coming to prison, I too shared this opinion. But since coming to prison, I have learned that this stereotype is not at all characteristic of many of us. On the contrary, many inmates have the opposite problem. We shoulder intolerable burdens of self-disgust, self-contempt, and shame and self-consciousness. Thus, instead of narcissistically inflating our own importance, we don't value ourselves at all. In many cases, we don't even believe we deserve good things. We become excruciatingly aware of our own faults and inadequacies, both real and exaggerated, and ashamed and doubtful of our own value. This negative thought pattern changed for me one day as I was watching the movie Superman. Someone called Superman brave, and I thought to myself, is Superman brave? Does it take bravery to run into a burning building knowing the flames can't hurt you? Does it take bravery to jump in front of a bullet knowing that the bullet will only bounce off of you? And then I thought, a superhero with no limitations isn't a hero at all. He has nothing to strive against, so he can't be admirable. It is consciously choosing to face what's difficult that creates growth. This is because growth requires becoming, and to become means to become something more, or at least something different, which is only possible for something limited. It was then that I began to see my limitations not as weakness, but as opportunities. That we become stronger by voluntarily facing what impedes our necessary progress. It is not ease that calls us out into the world, but struggle and strife. And it is probable that the adventure of our lives will frustrate, disappoint, and unsettle us. But that is where the broken and scattered things will come together and deep meaning will be found. It appears that the meaning which most effectively sustains life is to be found in the adoption of responsibility. When I look back at what I've accomplished, I think, well, I did that, and it was valuable. It was not easy, but it was worth it. It is a strange and paradoxical fact that there is a reciprocal relationship between the worth of something and the difficulty of accomplishing it. And that is what earning this degree has done for me, and hopefully for all of you as well. It has allowed me to define clearly what I want and actively confront the future. And when we do that, we turn our potentiality into actuality, making our life what it is. There appears, in principle, to be no upper limit to what can be made from what has yet to manifest. Out there, in the unknown future, which is what we truly contend with, awaits everything good, but also everything terrible, painful, hellish, and deadly. The choice of what we want for our lives is in our own hands. Each day, through our actions, we move our life and the world in general, one step closer to heaven or hell. The ultimate question is not who am I, but who could I be? The choice is each of ours. Thank you.
And now, Mr. Richard Strong.
It's good to see everybody here. Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank Jackson College and the Cotton Correctional Facility for this opportunity to speak. I would also like to acknowledge and salute my fellow Jackson College graduates and congratulate you on your hard work and determination. Last but not least, I want to show my extreme gratitude to all of our friends, family members, and sponsors who have supported us mentally, emotionally, and financially as we went on this journey to achieve our college degrees. I was born in Lansing, Michigan. Both of my parents were graduates of Michigan State University. My mother pursued a career in education where she became a school teacher and later a high school principal. My father was involved with state politics. Sadly, my parents divorced when I was only 2 years old. Growing up in a single-parent household wasn't easy, and not having that positive male role model or father figure, I began to act out and rebel. My father did come back into my life when I was around 13 years old, but tragically he passed away a year later. Not having that permanent relationship with a father, I began to let my discontent translate into rebellion, and I began to hang with negative influences and engage in a lifestyle full of drinking, drug dealing, and bad decisions. These bad decisions led me in and out of jail until I eventually found myself in prison. December 12th, 2012, I was sentenced to life in prison for a crime I did not commit. My spirit was crushed. I spent my first years in prison lost and confused and in a state of depression, until one day I found myself in a segregation cell, which we call the hole. And I felt I hit my bottom, so I cried out to God and asked him to deliver me from prison. Well, I can't say that the clouds parted and I heard a voice from heaven or fireworks going off, but I did feel a peace beyond all understanding come over me, and I realized that I could still serve a purpose. I realized that it was possible to still be a light even in this dark situation. I didn't want to see anybody end up in the same position I was in, so I decided to become part of the solution and stop being part of the problem. I had heard about prisoners being allowed to attend Jackson College, so I got to a phone and called my family and asked them to find out how I could register. In 2016, I was transferred here to G. Robert Cotton Facility, and I began taking classes. Being a lifer at that time, I was not eligible for a Pell Grant or the Michigan Reconnect program, but my family and I understand the importance of education, so we self-paid as I went on my endeavor. I stand here today, a 4.0 Dean's List student, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society member, and a writing fellow. I've been a GED tutor, I've been a college tutor, and an employment readiness tutor. I'm Vice President of the National Lifers of America, Chapter 1024. We're an advocacy organization that works on criminal justice reform and prison reform. I'm also a mentor in the Michigan Department of Corrections mentoring program, where we help fellow prisoners dealing with mental health issues and problems adjusting to prison. I've been involved with organizations like Chance for Life and the University of Michigan's Prisoner Creative Arts Program, also known as PCAP. I've written and published a book of poetry titled Prose by Cons. I've written 2 other books yet to be published. I've also been involved with Albion University's Inside Out program, where Albion University students are actually allowed to come into the prison and take classes alongside prisoners. I was even asked to be a teacher's aide for one of those classes. With my fellow Jackson College graduate, Joshua Puckett, stand up if you want, we published a book and created a program called the Cognitive Gang Intervention Program that helps detour the youth from entering gangs and helps those in the gangs leave their lifestyle. I've always believed that a person's level of success is going to be equal to their level of exposure. Jackson College has allowed me the opportunity to educate myself in different disciplines and to be exposed to information that has helped create a skill set that ultimately helped me accomplish my goals. The positive support and feedback that I received from instructors at Jackson College has motivated me to be the best version of myself that I can be. Higher education has always been about teaching students how to think and not what to think. Having access to Jackson College classes has given physically imprisoned men the opportunity to free their minds. What was once considered a helpless situation does not have to be a hopeless situation, and hope to a man incarcerated is as essential as air is to breathe. To be educated is to be enlightened, and the men in this room can continue to let your light shine out into the world. We can take on the responsibility of being positive and productive role models, fathers, husbands, sons, brothers, community leaders, and friends. We can lead by example and show others that through hard work determination, and having a vision, you can accomplish your goals. Prisons have locks to keep people locked in. Lack of education has kept many of us locked out of opportunities. The degrees that we've earned here today can be more than just a piece of paper to hang on the wall. These degrees can be keys to open up opportunities for a better future and keys to free your mind. I've been incarcerated for over 10 years, and during that time, I missed many events in my family and my children's lives. I've missed all of my children's high school graduations. I'm thankful to have my wife and my daughter here today to see me graduate college. I sit back and I see now that as we graduate college, that makes us part of a family of Jackson College graduates that will continue to encourage and support you as you go along your journey. Many of our communities have become impoverished wastelands infected with drugs, infected with crime, and infected with gang violence. Many of us were once part of creating that environment, so now it is our duty to be positive examples and role models that can help you deter the youth from going down that same negative path. Prison has been considered a tomb where people are simply thrown away, but it can also be considered a womb, a place where a new life is created. You can go back to your cell and sit in despair as you mourn your past, or it can become a lab where you create the new life for yourself that you want to have, or the new person that you want to become. Remember, a prison cell is where Martin Luther King wrote his famous letters to Selma. A prison cell is where the Apostle Paul wrote much of the New Testament for the Holy Bible. A prison cell is where Nelson Mandela sat and made his plans to become the next president of South Africa when he was finally released. Many of the great leaders of our time have been incarcerated, from Gandhi to Jesus Christ, but they did not let their circumstances or their situations determine their future outcomes. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You have all taken that first step today. The men that are sitting in this room are similar to the men sitting back in their cells right now, in the sense that we were all sentenced to serve time. But what makes you men special, what makes you men different, is that you have figured out how to make time serve you. This graduation is not the ending of a journey, rather it is the beginning of a new one. So let this be an example of how you can visualize and manifest the life that you want for yourself and your family. Truly believe that anything that you have envisioned in your head, you can eventually hold in your hand. We know that true education is 3/4 encouragement and 1/4 information. So let me encourage you today. Go back to your communities, become role models, become mentors, and become positive leaders. You could be living examples that with faith and determination, nothing, and I mean nothing, is impossible. Don't allow your race, don't allow your class, do not let your past become an excuse for failure, but rather let it be your motivation for success. I thank you.
Don't really know how to follow that other than wow. The power of education. Both of the speakers delivered some very powerful words of hope to each of our graduates today. And I just wanted to follow that up with, never underestimate what education has done for you. The outcome of your education is not just on the piece of paper that you'll get. It's not just on the dean's list or several dean's lists that you have in your possession. I know you have them because you hound me until you get them, right? It's not just on your transcripts, but the real education is the transformation that has taken place inside of your mind, soul, and body, and who has made you become today. I think of our student worker on campus who recently graduated, and we had a kente ceremony. And as part of that ceremony, he had to choose a rose recipient, someone who had an influence on his life. And so he chose me, and it wasn't so much because of the fact that I was his supervisor or his boss, because oftentimes he reported to Miss L or Miss Renee back there, but he chose me as a symbol of you all, because he said there was a time in which he was preparing degree audits and whatnot to get into the students that he noticed a student, I'm going to probably think it was probably Puckett, who had 100 or so credits and a 4.0 GPA. And he said he thought to himself, here's a student that doesn't have half of the resources that I have on the outside. Here is a group of men with a lack of technology, who are not able to get on Google, who are not able to get on the internet, who are not able to type up their papers, but through countless legal pads and short pencils that you've burnt out and empty ink pens, you have labored and worked your way to an associate degree, a certificate, another associate degree. Many that were here have now gone on and are pursuing a bachelor's degree at Siena Heights University, and you're doing it against all odds. So never minimize the education that you all have received and the work that you put in, and most of all, know that the testimony of your education is that transformation of who it has made you today and who you are going to become as you go forward. With no further ado, we want to move forward in our program. It is now time for the presentation of credentials, and we're going to ask our partners from the MDOC to stand to the front here, and our president and board of trustees to stand to the front here. And we're going to ask our dean, Dr. Todd Butler, to take his place at the microphone, and we're going to call you up. And as you make your way across, we will have you, well, we'll have you pause. We'll have to take a picture afterwards, but you'll make your way across and then back to your seat.
Graduating with high honors, Nathaniel, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration. Certificate, Administration, Associate General Studies, and Certificate, Management. Graduating high honors, Associate Arts, Associate in General Studies, high honor. Graduating with high honors, Joshua Puck, Associate in General Studies, Certificate Management, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, and Certificate, Business Administration. Graduating with high honors, Associate in General Studies, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associate in Arts, Certificate Management. Shalene, Associate in General Studies, graduating with high honors. Parker, graduating with honors in Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration. We're going to try this again. Everybody deserves their moment in the sun. Damone Rogers, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, high honors. Michael Klusman, graduating with high honors, Associate in General Studies. James Goebel, Associate in General Studies, Certificate Management, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Business Administration, all with high honors. Renard Massey Jr., Associate in Arts, graduating with honors. Randy Smith, Associate in General Studies, honors. Philip Yoakley, Associate in General Studies, graduating with high honors. Dale Berg, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associate in Arts, Associate in General Studies, all with honors. David Kennedy, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Certificate Management with honors. Carlos Jordan, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associate in General Studies, Certificate Management, all with high honors. Tavar Curry, Business Administration, Associate in Applied Science, General Studies, all with honors.
Mark, congratulations.
Ortez Smith, Associate of Applied Science, Business Administration, with honors. Thomas Kent, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, with high honors. David Enwall, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Associate in General Studies, Business Administration Certificate with recognition.
Thomas, congratulations. David, congratulations. Well done. Am I fighting it back?
David Moore, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Certificate, Business Administration with high honors. Jason Hicks, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, high honors. Keith Smith, Associate in General Studies, high honors. Graduating with honors, Joseph Stapleton, Associate in Arts.
Joseph, congratulations.
Ricky McCaskill, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Certificate in Business Administration and Management, all with honors. Aaron Prim, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, with high honors. Michael Warren, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associate in General Studies, certificates in Business Administration and Management, all with high honors. Paul Garceau, Associate in Arts, Associate in General Studies, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Certificate Business Administration with honors. Brandon Sylvester, Certificate Management, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associate in Arts, and Certificate Business Administration with high honors.
Congratulations.
Derek Harris, Associate in Arts, Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Associates in General Studies with honors.
Correct. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Graduating with high honors, James Adrian, Associate in Arts, Associate in General Studies.
All right, another round of applause, please. All right, at this time we'll have our administration take their seats, and we're going to bring our president, Dr. Phelan, back up this time.
Gentlemen, please rise. Gentlemen, by the power invested in me by the State of Michigan and by the Board of Trustees of Jackson College, I now confer upon each of you the degree or certificate in which you are entitled with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Gentlemen, you are official graduates. Move your tassels from the left to the right. Congratulations.
And gentlemen, you may be seated. As we bring this ceremony to a conclusion, all the fun is not over yet. It's actually just beginning. Your family is here not just to clap for you, but to celebrate with you. And so before we get into the celebration and the refreshments, we're going to ask our class, our student class body, to come to the front. We'll get a class picture along with our leadership from both Jackson College and MDOC. After that, we'll allow you guys to disperse and meet with your family and have refreshments. And if you would like to have a picture taken with your family, if you'll notice the Jackson College backdrop back there, we'll have you come up and we'll make sure that we get a picture taken of you to commemorate this moment, all right? At this time, we'll have our class come to the front.